Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his real estate entrepreneur, Omar Alfaro. How you doing, buddy?
Good. What's up, Michael?
Hey, man. So we have an amazing playlist, hundreds of videos there. We have made some amazing calls. I remember 16 months ago talking about lipstick flips being the best. We both profited wildly from that. Now we're making another call. We have both changed what we are doing in our business. And it's because of the transactions crash is creating opportunities for us to just be different. So 100%. I want to talk about what you're doing different to protect yourself, because I think there's part of the market you won't play in today. So let's highlight that first. Okay. And then second, where you are playing, what have you tweaked? Because I certainly have tweaked a couple of things. So what are you doing to protect yourself today?
Right now, it's okay. As a real estate broker, active broker, someone who represents buyers and sellers too, I'm still going out there and taking down listings, but I'm also telling the seller that, listen, we got to be super competitive to sell the property. I don't want to waste your time. I definitely don't want to waste mine. So that's on the regular traditional side.
Sure.
As the investor.
Yeah. I want to talk about that agent thing real quick, because I don't think enough. Yeah. I think when markets pivot, sometimes it doesn't, we're talking about real estate agents here, but it applies to everybody, right? If your industry, your pipeline pivoted and you don't see it, you can get caught off sides. So 100%. What do I mean by this? Real estate agents today, for years, all they had to do was get a listing and it would sell and they'd get paid.
Right.
Today, I believe in most markets, your market's high desert of California, if you take on wish pricing and you don't have that upfront conversation, you are signing yourself up for a couple of things. One, painful conversations.
Yep.
Unhappy clients. Mm-hmm. And 3, wasting money. And 4, wasting time. If you get a listing today at wish pricing that will never sell and the seller's not motivated, meaning they're not going to take a lower number, give the listing to some other newbie, because you don't need to waste that time. That's what I think you said, but I wanted to say it again.
No, 100%, because, and I'm part of it too. I'm human. I get in that mix of representing that seller, and they're like, we want to start here. And it's like, okay, we can start there, but we're going to have, automatic price reductions after a week, after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, because it's not moving. And there's some listings I've taken that aren't moving. They were at the curve and we needed to be under, but that's something that everybody that's listening that is in real estate and you have a license, might as well tell them the freaking truth up front and saying, listen, would you rather have a listing that doesn't sell, you as a professional, when you're counting on that commission check, or do you want the house to sell? That's up to you. You control it. You got to be able to lead your client as well. So that's on the traditional side. On the investment side, I'm getting bombarded with every effing freaking wholesaler asking me, hey, dude, do you want this deal? Do you want this deal? You want that deal? You want this deal? You want this deal? Why? Because they're locking them up a little bit higher than they should have, because they used to 6 months ago. I've been telling everybody, no. And half the time I don't even respond, because it's like, you're going to tell me that this is where the market's at? You're crazy. Okay. Do the work a little bit more, Mm-hmm. So as the investor, I want to have properties that when I'm done with them, it's under or right at the median home price. Okay. That means if I'm picking it up at 280 or 310, then my come out's going to be 399, 400. Now, if it's a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath with 2,500 square feet in my area, and it's somewhat decent of a house, I'll pay 315, 320 for the house. No problem, because there's still people going to buy under that 400K, and maybe it might get to 410, 415, because that is that median. But if you're way under and you bought something at $1.50, which if you find one, fantastic job, then you're going to be sitting pretty. You might actually, that might actually be the best flip you ever did, because you're going to be selling them at you're going to 350, 360, and you bought it for $150. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're sitting pretty. $70,000, $80,000 on a flip. Mm-hmm. Under in that price range, phenomenal. People that are in that 400K, 500K, 600K, 800K aren't making $80,000 on their flip.
Yeah. So what I hear
that right now.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is one of the things that you changed is the inventory that you will look at, you will evaluate.
Yes.
Because I know your business, we've talked about it for years. You were doing some of the $600,000, $700,000 deals when they made sense, right?
I won't do it no more.
I hope people hear that. And because the market is slowing down, that buyer's getting pickier, inventory is building. When you're above the median, it's your capital gets locked up. The monthly stroke for hard money just eats you alive. Carrying costs. It's just part of this business is pivoting and protecting yourself. So what I hear you doing on these two examples is A, you're protecting your time, which is paramount. You can't get time back. And B, you're reducing your risk profile because you're staying under the median, right? Your worst case scenario is you go refi some of these, put on 30-year debt, probably leave money in the deal. So it's not ideal,
right?
But you keep it as a rental, right? So your worst case scenario isn't all that horrible.
No, it's just time.
Yeah.
It's buying that 45, 60-day window. That's the only thing. But then if you still have your payments, I mean, and when I'm telling you guys this, when you have payments of 15, 20 transactions and you have no rental income coming in, you better be making some decent money. Yeah. There's a reason why I still go and take listings, because I want to offset that, because I know my bigger numbers coming, right? So hence, this is why I'm able to do so many. I don't recommend it for a lot of people, because if you don't have a good traditional real estate business, then you know what, you might only do 1 to 2 flips, 3 flips a year. Yeah. You start doing more, you better have some money coming in.
Yeah. I don't know if you look at it this way, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Yeah.
When you look at your business, I don't know if it's transactions or income or how you look at it. I'm going to guess that 2022, given this pivot we've just talked about, means you're going to slow down. And again, I don't know what your yardstick is for slow down, but you're going to do less stuff. But perhaps get ready to do even more next year, because anytime you have a pivot or a rollover in a market, real estate is slow and it takes a while to kind of unravel.
Right.
So I'm just going to put this out there. I have no idea if you're thinking about this already, but something you might be marketing to next year, like pre-foreclosures, and especially if unemployment doubles, right? Because again, the high desert, it's one of those markets where it moves first, right? People move there when it's too expensive by the coast, but then when unemployment goes, people sometimes go back to it's a weird market. So I'm going to guess this year is smaller than last year, but you might be set up to have a bigger year next year if the market unravels as we expect. What do you think?
You know, it's crazy. I was doing my numbers this weekend, tracking everything, where we're at, how many deals we got in the pipe, and the projected, I'm all about the projection too. Like, I'm not going top dollar on ARV. I'm staying a little bit more conservative to sell the property and still see my net, profit on it. And it might be Michael, it'll be in a flipping status of it. This is key. Flipping last year was one thing. Okay. I have carryover that a lot of them closed already this first and second quarter. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will do more this year in profit. Okay. But I will not be, this is the crazy part, I will not be holding more than I did last year.
Gotcha.
Because last year money was super damn cheap.
Yeah, it was cheap.
This year, no. So you have to have forget about the good. You have to have a great deal for it to make sense, where it's going to pay you
agreed
$10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 on that refinance plus all your money back. So now you made $40K and you have a free house and you have cash flow. Cash flow is not going to be $800-900 like it was last year, because the payment went up.
The rate,
it's going to be $200 or $300, not necessarily an alligator in your sense, but
just not gravy like last time.
Right, not like Norris Drive, in your book. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, all right, I'll do the 300 if it pays me $40K. It's still a free house with a $3,600 a year in profit or in cash flow, which is great. Somebody else, but this is the other thing. As more inventory starts happening, guess what starts to happen as well? Some of these sellers are going to start saying, you know what? Maybe I don't need to sell. Maybe it was their rental. Maybe it was an inheritance. They might actually keep it to rent it. So there's going to be an increase in rent. Or there's going to be an increase in the inventory of rental properties, which now means the rent's going to drop a little bit. Not a whole lot. It'll drop a little bit. And this is what I'm seeing, because it'll tell you. Zillow, you start putting out your properties out there, and we used to get 50, 60 applications. Now we're getting 10.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, this is just like, it's boiling right now. You can't see it. It's barely starting to boil, that water.
Wow.
You know, when you put your mac and cheese
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
starts
yeah,
boiling.
yeah.
Yeah. Later on, it's going to start increasing, and it's going to be like, hey, where are all these houses coming from that all of a sudden everybody wants to rent now?
Awesome.
Watch.
Okay, this is very cool. This is why I love talking to you every week. You have a playlist. People can go back and watch our conversations week after week after week. This is going to be one we follow up on because, yeah, the high desert. Again, if you're in California as an investor, watching the high desert is important because it reacts first. It just does.
It does, man. It's good and bad.
Good and bad. Exactly. Omar, where can people find you?
Guys, follow me on IG at Omar_Alfaro or my website, omaralfaro.com.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks again.